ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशव वामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Let's start with the Shanti Patha of Atharvana Veda for Mundaka Upanishad. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So after going through a very elaborate general introduction to the Upanishads and a specific introduction to the Mundakopanishad, and also going through the meaning of the Shanti Patha, Shanti Mantra or Shanti Patha, now we'll go to the Upanishad proper. I do not want to summarize the Shanti Patha again. Only what we should remember in the Shanti Patha is the Guru and the Shishya are both praying for an obstacle-free teaching, for an obstacle-free transfer of knowledge from the Guru to the Shishya. And then for that, they are asking the blessings of various deities. And who those deities are and who those devas are, we have already seen in the explanation of the Shanti Mantra. And ultimately, when it is said Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, it means let there be no obstacles from Adhyatmikataya, that is from within me, within my body, mind, sense complex, either for the Guru or the Shishya, let there be no obstacles which come in the way of the transfer of this knowledge. Let there be no obstacles, adhibhautika obstacles. That is, obstacles which can come from my surroundings, over which I have a partial control but no total control. Let such obstacles also not trouble the transfer of this knowledge that is going to take place. Thirdly, adhidaivika obstacles, pratibandhas may also be warded off. Let all the gods, the functionaries of nature, be in their mood for blessing us. Let their blessing be showering on us so that this very, very important and auspicious knowledge of the self-knowledge, which is the very content of the Upanishads, is freely transferred, freely transmitted from the Guru to the Shishya. So with this, we have completed the general introduction. Now we'll go to the specific Upanishadic mantras from the first Mundaka. As I told you, Mundakopanishad has 3 Mundakas, and in each Mundaka there are 2 Khandas. Mundaka means a chapter, and Khandas means sections. So there are 3 main chapters called as the 3 Mundakas, and there are 2 sections in each Mundaka called as the Khandas. So now we'll go to the first Khanda of the first Mundaka. And what is it trying to tell here? The first 2 or 3 mantras. You must remember that the verses or the content of Upanishads are called as mantras, whereas all the Smriti verses are called shlokas. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, then we saw Adi Shankaracharya's Advaita Stotras, which can be called as shlokas. Bhagavad Gita, the verses are called as shlokas. Whereas when we come to the Upanishads, the verses of the Upanishads are called as mantras. So let us go to the first mantra. As I told you, the first 3 or 4 mantras talk about the lineage or the parampara through which this knowledge has come. All the Upanishads talk about it, sometime or the other. In some part of the body of the Upanishads, they talk about from where it has come, from which guru it has come, to which their parampara is mentioned. And here also, there are 2 things which are talked about in the first 3 introductory mantras of Mundakopanishad. That is, what is the parampara through which it came, the glory of the parampara. Because somebody may ask, how do I trust this particular thing as reality? Okay, some things are given in this Upanishad. How do I know that that is authentic? So the parampara is talked about, from where it started, how it has come down, paramparataya, sampradayikataya, how this knowledge has come from the highest to the following generations of Shishyas. Just like we saw in all the shlokas, Advaita shlokas of Shankaracharya, also we saw how it has come. Similarly, now in Katopanishad also we saw from where it has come. Similarly, here in Mundakopanishad, which is an Atharvana Veda Upanishad, the Upanishad takes a little more trouble in telling us about 3 to 4 generations of the Shishyas. What this means is, this auspicious knowledge, this great knowledge has come with an illustrious parampara. It has come from an illustrious parampara. That is the first thing that is talked about. The second thing that is talked about in the first 3 verses is the greatness of Brahma Vidya. The greatness as the greatest of the knowledge, the highest of the knowledge, that is what is going to be talked about here. So the illustrious parampara or the chain of Guru Shishyas through which this knowledge has come in Atharvana Veda Upanishads. Secondly, it talks about the auspiciousness and the glory and the greatness of Brahma Vidya. So we'll read the first verse, that is first mantra of the section 1 of the first Mundaka. Let's read that. Brahma devanam pratamah sambabhuva vishvasya karta bhuvanasya gopta sa brahma vidyam sarva vidya pratishtham atharvaya jyeshta putraya praha. So, where did this knowledge start from? He says it started from the very Chaturmukha Brahma. We saw in Dakshinamurti Stotram that this knowledge started from Shiva taking avatara as Dakshinamurti, and in other Upanishads it is also talked about as to where it has come from. Here in this Upanishad, Lord Brahma or Chaturmukha Brahma is taken as the one from whom this parampara of teaching started. Now, he says, the Upanishad says, Brahma Devanam Pratamaha Sambhabhuva. Lord Brahma was the very first manifestation of Ishvara. We say Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, we say. What are all these? Now, Brahma is a manifestation of Ishvara. When you look at the Jagat from the point of view of its creation, there should be something, an intelligent principle, which creates this universe. Who created this universe? For that, we say Ishvara, Parameshwara, or Brahman manifested itself in the form of the very first being called as Brahma. So, Brahma was the first being, the exalted being, who was a manifestation of Ishvara. And Brahma had to, we can call Brahma as Brahmaji, not Brahman. Brahma. Brahma is what? That name and form manifestation of Ishvara, who appeared first as an exalted living being and the one who had 4 heads. Brahma is known as Chaturmukha Brahma. And Brahma is the first appearance and manifestation of Ishvara, or Pratamaha Sambhabhuva. Pratamaha Sambhabhuva means by himself Brahma appeared. What does it mean? That means Ishvara or Brahman manifested itself into the very first exalted living being called Chaturmukha Brahma. And these 4 mukhas of Brahma represent the 4 Vedas. With this only we realize that the Vedas are not written or composed or given by any human intellect. The Vedas are apaurushaya. When the very first living being Brahma or Brahmaji were manifested, the Vedas also came with that. Lord Brahma was manifested along with the 4 Vedas, because the 4 Vedas are talking about how the world should conduct itself, how the universe which is going to be produced now from Brahma, Lord Brahma, it is like a manual, like a working manual. So it has to come along with the originator. Chaturmukha Brahma is the very originator of the universe. There was no universe, no Jagat, when Lord Brahma appeared. Appeared how? Manifestation of Ishvara. From the point of view of creation of this universe, the same Ishvara is called as Brahma. And from the point of view of Sthiti Karaka, or the one who maintains this universe with various laws of Ishvara, that manifestation of Ishvara is called as Vishnu. And when the right time comes, when all the prarabdha karmas of the jivas are over, and when they have to be brought back into a form, manifest form, it is the manifestation of Ishvara called as Shiva, who resolves the entire universe back to the unmanifest form. So Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are not 3 separate individual devatas. It is the same Ishvara who manifests in these forms for 3 certain definite purposes with relationship to whatever is going to be produced, whatever is going to be created. So when Chaturmukha Brahma appeared, he had the manual, the user manual called as the 4 Vedas with him in the form of Chaturmukha, in the form of the 4 Vedas. And Lord Brahma appeared first. This shows that the Vedas came along with the first being of creation. Brahma, Lord Brahma, is the very first being of this creation. So Brahma Devanam, among all the Devas, Prathamah Sambhabhuva. Brahma is the one who appeared first in this entire creation. Therefore, he is called as the father or Pitamaha. Brahma is given the name Pitamaha. Why? Because we all have a father. So, Brahma is like, instead of saying great, 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 great grandfather, Brahma is called as the Pitamaha of the Jagat. That is the originator of this entire universe, who appeared along with the Vedas. That's why we have a mantra which says, Yo Brahmanam Vidadati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai, Tamha Deva Matma Buddhi Prakasham, Mumukshurvai Sharanam Prapadye. Those of us who are chanting the Brahma Sutra Bhashyas are chanting this verse as the as the Shanti Pata or the Shanti Mantra before chanting Brahma Sutra Bhashya. So what is the meaning of this? It means that Parameshwara or that Brahman or Ishvara manifested first in the form of the originator of the universe called Brahma, and the four Vedas were a part of this being called as Brahma, as a part of himself, as the four heads. Devanam Pratama Sambhabhuva. So Brahma was the first one. Therefore, in Mundaka Upanishad, Brahma, that is the Chaturmukha Brahma, Lord Brahma, is considered to be the originator who spread this knowledge of the Vedas to various Shishyas. Very interesting, one more thing I have to tell you here. We hardly have any temples representing Brahma, Lord Brahma. I think there is only one temple somewhere in Cambodia which is called as Angkor Wat or something, where there is a temple dedicated to Brahma. In India also there are very one or two, there's one somewhere in South India. Why is it that Lord Brahma is not worshipped? Why Lord Brahma is not worshipped? Whereas we find innumerable number of Vishnu temples, we find innumerable number of Shiva temples, but we hardly find any temples of Lord Brahma or Brahmaji or Chaturmukha Brahma. We don't find any temples. Nobody prays to Lord Brahma. Why is it so? My Vedanta guru used to say that if you pray to Lord Brahma, you will be coming back again and again into the cycles of birth, because the very function of Lord Brahma is to create or bring back. So, therefore, we don't know whether it was, but that is what the reason that is given. So, we hardly pray to Lord Brahma. All our prayers are to the Sthitikaraka Vishnu, who is also a manifestation of Ishvara, and Layakaraka Shiva, who is also the manifestation of Ishvara. So here it is said, Brahma Devanam, among all the Devas, Prathamah Sambhabhuva, appeared without any Karanam, without any Gotra, without any other person or other being reproducing him. He appeared, Sambhabhuva. That means what? Ishvara just manifested in the form of Brahma. Then what is he? They are describing, the Upanishad is describing Brahma, Lord Brahma, Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. Vishwasya Karta. He is the very Karta or the originator of the entire universe. Originator. With a mere Sankalpa, Brahma created the whole universe, it is said. And for this, initially, with mere Sankalpa, Lord Brahma created his Manasa Putras. We have seen that in Dakshinamurti Stotram, where Sanat Kumaras are also the Manasa Putras of Brahma, Lord Brahma. But here, in this Upanishad, the Upanishad talks about the other Manasaputra of Brahma. Now we have to understand one thing. There is one Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, for every creation. So, in different creations, Lord Brahma would have, with Sankalpa, created or manifested other human beings in the form of his Putras or Manasa Putras. So, in which creation we do not know. So, like Sanat Kumaras were his Manasa Putras, he says, here the Upanishad says that, here this is being talked about by the Upanishad. The Guru and Shishya have not yet appeared here. Shaunaka Angirasa Samvada, I told you. Those two haven't appeared still. This is still the parampara that is being discussed. So who is the one who was the initiator, the one who really had this knowledge? It is Lord Brahma. Who is he? Vishwasya Karta. He is the one from whom this entire universe and all the jivas appeared. Bhuvanasya Gopta. Once you create something, you have to maintain it. You have to protect it. Therefore, the same intelligence, Ishvara, which manifested as Brahma in the process of creation of the universe, manifested as Lord Vishnu in protecting the universe also. So, Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta, the protector of this creation also. He is the beginner or the one who started this creation, and he also is the protector of this creation. Brahma, who is the very first manifestation of Ishvara, is the creator of this universe also, Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. Bhuvana means the created universe, all the 14 lokas which were created. Now you may ask, you may have another doubt after studying Vedanta for so many years. Is it only Ishvara Sankalpa that has given birth to this entire universe, that I am born here, you are born here in the earth plane? There is an Indra who is in the Devaloka, there is an Agni who is in the Devaloka, there are certain beings in the Pitru Loka, there are some people in some other Loka. So how did Lord Brahma decide who should be born where? So Brahma or Ishvara is the Samanya Karanam, whereas my karmas, my Sanchita karmas, which are waiting to manifest themselves as Prarabdha karmas, those are the Vishesha Karanas for this Jiva being born in this particular body, mind, sense complex in this particular situation. Therefore, we should understand that Vishwasya Karta means Ishvara in the form of Brahma is the Samanya Karanam. From unmanifest universe to the manifest universe, if there is some kind of a trigger required, it is Lord Brahma who triggers the manifestation of the universe from unmanifest Prakriti. We saw in Dakshinamurti Stotram also as to what is creation. Nothing new is created. Creation is from unmanifest potential form, the universe manifests into names and forms. At the time of Pradaya, the same manifest universe goes back into an unmanifest form. What is Srishti? Unmanifest universe to manifest universe. What is Pralaya? Resorption or going back from the manifest to the unmanifest universe. So there should be some trigger for the universe to manifest from the unmanifest Prakriti. So Brahma is that trigger, the cause which manifests the universe from the unmanifest. And what is Shiva? He is just the Karana for the Laya or resorption of the manifest universe into an unmanifest form. Therefore, Vishwasya Karta, Bhuvanasya Gopta. Samanya Karanam. for the unmanifest universe to unfold itself into a manifest universe. And then what did he do? Saha, that Brahma, Lord Brahma, Brahma Vidyam, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Lord Brahma had that Brahma Vidya with him. He appeared with that all the Vedas. So the Veda Purva and the Vedanta of all the Vedas were in Lord Brahma. So what did he do? He gave this knowledge, Brahma Vidyam, Atharvaya Jyeshtaputraya Praha. He gave this knowledge to his eldest son. How did this eldest son come from where? There is only one Brahmaji here, only one Pratama. So how did this Atharva came? From where did this Atharva manifest? Again, Lord Brahma, Sankalpa Matrena, with his called as the Manasaputra. Atharva is one of the Manasaputras of Brahma. So he says, Atharvaya Jyeshtaputraya Praha. So Brahma gave this knowledge which he was already full of. He was born with that knowledge. He transmitted this knowledge to his first Manasaputra Atharva. He gave this knowledge. Jyeshtaputraya Atharvaya Praha. What is the meaning of Praha? Not simply talking about it, not simply giving it, talking about it till the other person has understood. So Atharva was not only the son of Brahma, Lord Brahma, he was also the first Shishya of Lord Brahma. We have such instances. You know, it is said in our Shastra that any knowledge got from the father is the best way to receive any knowledge. Why? Because a father will give whatever he knows without holding anything back to the son. We have such examples in other Upanishads also. In Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetaketu, the son, asks Uddalaka, the father, for this knowledge. And Uddalaka, the father, a jnani, gives this knowledge to his son Shvetaketu in the very famous Mahavakya mantra which we talk all the time. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. This Tattvamasi Mahavakya was taught by the father Uddalaka to the son Shvetaketu. Similarly, Lord Varuna gave this Vidya to Bhrigu. In Taittiriya Upanishad, we see that Lord Varuna gave this Vidya, Atma Vidya, to Bhrigu. Therefore, it is called as Varuni Bhargavi Vidya. Varuni Bhargavi Vidya means what? This Varuna, Lord Varuna, gave this knowledge to his son Bhrigu, called as the Bhargavi Vidya, Varuni Vidya. And it is said, this kind of a learning from the father is the best form of learning any Vidya. Be it Laukika Vidyas or be it Atma Vidya. We have seen in Laukika Vidyas like music, dance. We have seen paramparas of, Guru Shishya in the families. Fourth generation, fifth generation of musicians, instrumentalists, who are transferring their knowledge to their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We have seen that. We see that. Even now there are people who are the fifth generation, sixth generations of musicians who have learned from none other than their own parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. Then what to talk about Atma Vidya? Atma Vidya is also something which is said, this niyamena, with a great niyama, when it is learned from the father to the children, that is supposed to be the best form of learning any Vidya, especially the Atma Vidya. So, Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. He gave this knowledge to his eldest son, Jeshtaputra, Atharva, who is a Manasaputra of Brahma, Lord Brahma, Praha. Not simply giving, not simply saying something and going away. Not like our modern school teachers and college teachers just coming and giving some notes and going away. No, he gave this vidya till the son understood properly. Nothing was left behind to be known. A total transfer of knowledge of what the Guru has to the Shishya. So the Guru was not only the father, but he gave this Vidya to his own son, the Shishya, in such a way that this Vidya was absolutely well grasped. Now, in the third line, what is the greatness of this Vidya? This is talked about. What is the greatness of this Vidya? Saha Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam Praha. So, what is Brahma Vidya? What Vidya did he give? Brahma Vidyam Praha. Jeshtaputraya Praha. What kind of a Vidya? Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? The knowledge about that thing which is the very content of this entire universe. The knowledge of that one Adhishtanam, which is the very Adhishtanam of the Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya, it is called. Various names are given. Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, Para Vidya. So Brahma Vidyam. And what is the greatness of this Vidya? Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Brahma Vidya is the very Pratishtha. What is Pratishtha? The very support, the very Adhishtanam. Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Brahma Vidya is the very basis or the very foundation of all the other Vidyas. All the other knowledge arises, exists in Atma Vidya, in Brahma Vidya. Therefore, it is called as Para Vidya. All the other knowledges are called as Apara Vidya. Apara means lower, lower knowledge. Para Vidya means a higher knowledge. So, Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. Brahma Vidya, which is the very basis of all the Vidyas. Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, Brahma Vidyam, which is called as the Paravidya. He who, Lord Brahma, the Guru, transmitted it, passed it on without holding back anything to his Jeshtaputra Atharva, Manasaputra Atharva. And this is the knowledge which is called as the greatest knowledge or the Paravidya, because it is this knowledge which ultimately frees a jiva from samsara. Paravidya is complete knowledge. That means what? Once I have understood Tattvamasi, once I have understood Aham Brahmasmi, once I have understood what is Paravidya, it's complete knowledge. There is nothing left to be known. It is knowing my own Swarupam, nothing left to be known. Whereas Aparavidya or Laukika Vidya is what? The more you know, the lesser you know. The more you study, there is more to know. The more you think you know, you only know a very, very, very fraction of that Vidya. So, Aparavidya is something where there is no end to learning because it is Maya. The more and more deeper and deeper and deeper you go, there is more to know, more confusion. So you can't go beyond a certain extent. Whereas Paravidya is a complete Vidya. Because Knowing my nature, aham brahmasmi, it is the end of this knowledge of Paravidya. And what is the difference between Aparavidya and Paravidya? Aparavidya or Laukika Vidya keeps me in bondage forever. But Paravidya releases me from bondage once and for all. Because in Aparavidya, if there are 10 scholars of the same subject, one knows more, one knows less. There is always a comparison, there is always a jealousy, there is always a bondage that I don't know what the other person knows, I must know more. I can get a better job if I know more than that fellow. So all these things come. Aparavidya, the more I study, the more it keeps me unfulfilled, unsatisfied, bound. Paravidya is one vidya. By knowing what I am, knowing myself, it frees me once and all from all my limitations. Therefore, Brahma Vidya or Paravidya is the total knowledge which totally frees me from my bondage, whereas Aparavidya is a knowledge for which the more you study, the more you have to know, the more it keeps me in bondage. There is no Laukika Vidya where I can say I know everything. I can never say I know everything. It's only in Brahma Vidya I can say Aham Brahmasmi. I know that I, the Brahman, is everything. There is nothing other than me, which we have already seen all these in all these texts. Therefore, Brahma Vidya is called as Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. It is the Vidya which is the Pratishtha of all the Vidyas, the greatest knowledge. Therefore, the beginning of the Sampradaya is talked about here as Lord Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Then we have come to the very greatness of this Brahma Vidya. What is the greatness of the Brahma Vidya? Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. And he gave it to his Jeshtaputra Atharva. Now, did Jeshtaputra Atharva keep quiet? He did not keep quiet because this is the knowledge which is meant to be given to the next generation. So, what happened? Mantra 2. Let's go to the mantra 2. Atharvane yam pravadeta brahma अथर्वातां पुरोवाच अङ्गिरे ब्रह्मविद्यां स भारद्वाजाय सत्यवहाय प्राह भारद्वाजो अङ्गिरसे परावराम्. So now the lineage comes. Just like we say, Dakshinasya Samarambha, Shankaracharya Madhyama, Aswadacharya Pariyanta. Like that we bring, starting from Adi Guru, Dakshinamurti. Here the Adi Guru is Brahmaji. This one gives the status of the Adi Guru to Brahmaji. It doesn't matter whether it is Shiva who is the Adi Guru, whether it is Vishnu the Adi Guru, whether it is Brahma the Adi Guru, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it is Ishvara's manifestation. Ishvara starts as the very first giver or the repository of this knowledge. So, what does it say here? Atharvane yam pravadeta Brahma. Brahma, Atharvane to Atharva, yam pravadat. The one who gave Pravadat is the one who gave this knowledge. Brahma, who gave this knowledge to Atharva, his son, and his disciple, Atharva did not keep quiet. Atharva tam purovacha angire tam Brahma Vidyam. That Brahma Vidya was transferred from Atharva to his Shishya called as Angir, Angir, Angir. There are two here, Angir and Angiras. So here the second one who gets the second in the chain, okay, is who? Brahma is there, he gave it first. The first link in the chain is what? Atharva. Then the second ling, Atharva started this sampradaya. Brahma gave it to him, and Atharva started this sampradaya of giving this vidya the way it was given to him by his father Brahma. He gave it to his shishya Atharva Tam Brahma Vidyam. That Brahma Vidya Purovacha repeated it, gave it. It's like a baton being passed in a relay race. So Purovacha Angire, to Angir, to his shishya called as Angir. Angire Tam Brahma Vidyam Atharva Purovacha. Simple. Many of our listeners are learning Sanskrit, so it should not be easy if we do the proper anvaya of the mantra. It is not difficult to understand. So, Atharvane Yam Brahma Vidyam Pravadat Brahma Tam Brahma Vidyam Atharva Purovacha Angire. Angire Purovacha. He gave this knowledge to Angir. What did Angir do? Now the parampara comes. The great parampara is from Brahma, Lord Brahma or Brahmaji, Atharva, Angir. From Angir, where did it go? Sa Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha. He gave this knowledge to his shishya by name Satyavaha, who belonged to the Bharadvaja Gotra. Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya. Here there are not two people. It's not that Bharadvaja is one person, Satyavaha is one person. Satyavaha is the name of the person who belongs to the Bharadvaja Gotra. Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha. He gave this knowledge. Who? Angir gave this knowledge to Satyavaha, who belonged to the Bharadvaja Gotra. Bharadvaja Gotra. Now you may ask, how do you know that Bharadvaja and Satyavaha are one person? They are not two people. How do you say it? Shankara Bhashyam. So whatever is being told here is something absolutely based on Shankara Bhashyam. So Satyavaha is the individual person who belonged to the Bharadvaja Gotra, got this knowledge from his guru Angir. Angir got this knowledge from Atharva. Atharva, the son of Brahma, got this knowledge from his own father, Chaturmukha Brahma. Why is the need to mention this particular, lineage? To show the mahima of this knowledge, to show the greatness of this knowledge. Because this knowledge is the Paravidya, the highest of the Vidyas, the transforming Vidya, the liberating Vidya. And that Vidya cannot come from anywhere, anytime, no. It has to be started from Ishvara, either in the form of Dakshinamurti, or in the form of Brahma, or in the form of Hayagriva Vishnu. It has to start from Ishvara, with Ishvara manifesting as the very Adi Guru, and then it has to come down. So we should see the lineage, how it started and how it came. It is only to show us what kind of a Vidya this is, the exalted Paravidya, Brahma Vidya. To know this is the reason why the lineage of the rishis has to be mentioned. So it came to Satyavaha, Bharadvajaha Angirase Paravara. Bharadvaja, that is Bharadvajaha, or this Bharadvaja Gotra Utpannaha Satyavaha, gave this knowledge to Angiras. Here is the last one, Angiras. Brahma, Atharva, Angir, Satyavaha, and then Angiras. Now we have come to our Guru of the Mundaka Upanishad, who is Angiras. Now Angiras is the one who gives this Vidya to our hero of this Mundaka Upanishad. Who is that? Shaunaka. So see, 5 generations. And the person who's going to get this Upanishad, through whom we are going to study the Upanishad, is what was given by Angiras, the guru to Shaunaka. Angiras Shaunaka Samvada is the very Upanishad itself. And therefore, what happened? From here, it came to Shaunaka Rishi. So, all these people are the Guru Shishya Parampara which has been mentioned. Now, in the mantra 3, let us go to the mantra 3. Now, our main person here, who goes to the Guru Angiras for this Vidya, Shaunaka is introduced. Shaunaka is introduced in the third mantra here. So let us read the third mantra. Shaunako havai mahashalaha angirasam vidhivad upasannaha papracha kasminnu bhagavo vijñate sarvamidam vijñatam bhavati iti. So here comes the Shishya Shaunaka, the son of Shunaka Rishi, the son of Shunaka Rishi. Now we find that in this mantra we'll find that Shaunaka is introduced not only as a Shishya but as a Grahastha Shishya. Now we do not know the earlier whether they were Grahastha Shishya, Grahastha Rishis or Sannyasi Rishis. But here in the Parampara, Shaunaka is introduced as the son of Shunaka Rishi. Therefore, this Mundaka Upanishad comes in the Shaunaka Shakha of Atharvana Veda. Shaunaka Shakha. As I told you, there are different branches or shakhas in the Vedas. So in the Atharvana Veda, Mundaka Upanishad comes in the Shaunaka Shakha. Who is Shaunaka? The son of Rishi Sunaka. And here he is introduced in this way. Shaunako havai mahashalaha. So who is Shaunaka? Mahashalaha. What is the meaning of Mahashalaha? He is a great Grahastha. He is a great Grahastha. Shaunako havai mahashalaha. Mahashalaha. Mahashalaha means the one who has large yajnashalas, yagashalas, where this Grahastha Rishi is conducting a number of rituals, fire rituals, yagas, yajnas according to the Veda Purva. A Vaidika Grahastha Rishi. As Shaunaka is a Grahastha who is fully involved in his Grahastha Dharma, following all the advice that is given in Veda Purva, and conducts a number of yajnas and yagas. So a great Grahastha who does various great yajnas and yagas and distributes dana and food to various people, he is called as a Mahashala. Who can perform the yajnas and yagas? Not a brahmachari, not a vanaprasthi, not a sannyasi, but a grahastha. So Shaunaka was a great grahastha who used to have or who used to conduct a large number of yagas. So he had big yagashalas. To have a big yagashala and to conduct yajnas and yagas, one must have a place where a lot of food is cooked for Annadanam, isn't it? No yajna is complete without Annadanam. Therefore, this Shaunaka had big and great Pakashalas also. So, who is a Mahashala? A Grahastha who has yajnashalas as well as pakashalas, where the food is prepared and distributed at the time of yajnas and yagas. This shows us that our hero Shaunaka, who goes as a shishya to the Guru Angiras, is a grahastha, shishya. Therefore, this is a samvada between a grahastha shishya, and what is he? Is a fully prepared grahastha. He has done enough of yagas, enough of rituals, and now he knows that there is the higher or the exalted vidya called as the Paravidya. All these days I have been following the Veda Purva and doing all this karma, accumulating the karma phala, and therefore all this is of Aparavidya. But then now it is the time for me to know what does liberating Vidya is. I have accrued enough of karma phala. I have done enough of yagas, yajnas, karma, and upasanas. I am now in a prepared state to go to the next level, to the Vedanta, to learn what actually Atmavidya is. And with this mumukshutvam, Shaunaka the Mahashala, what did he do? Angirasam vidhivat upasanna. Vidhivat upasanna. Vidhivat. That means what? How a Shishya has to approach the Guru, he approached in a similar way. Tadvidhi pradipatena pariprashnena sevaya, Bhagavad Gita said. In this Upanishad itself, later it says, Samitpanihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So, a Shishya is supposed to take Samit, the dry twigs of the trees, to the Guru in his hands, Samitpani, son, he enters or goes to the Guru. What is that? Does it mean? Samitpani means, what does it indicate? It's symbolic. Carrying the dry twigs to the Guru, it is symbolic of saying that I am willing to serve you in your yagas and yajnas, whatever you do, I am willing to serve you and learn from you. I am willing to live with you in the Gurukulam and do my duties of Shushrusha to you, serve you. That is one of the symbolic things when a Shishya carries Samit. Another symbolism of carrying the dry twigs in the hands is what? My intellect is like the dry twigs, which is wanting to be lightened up by this knowledge, by the fire of this knowledge. I am like these dry twigs, which is waiting to be lighted up by the fire of the knowledge, Atmavidya, which you are going to give me. Therefore, Vidhivat Upasanna. Vidhivat Upasanna means what? He carried what? He carried nothing but Samit Panihi. He carried the samit or the dry twigs in his hand, indicating his willingness to be a Shishya and serve the Guru Angiras, and his willingness to be taught by this teacher, taught by the teacher. This is what is Vidhivat Upasanna. And from this we should understand that the previous Shishyas also must have approached the Guru with the similar Samitpanihi. Everyone has to go Vidhivat Upasanna. There's no question where a Shishya goes without this particular thing. It just means that the previous people also approached their gurus in the same manner in which Shaunaka approached the gurus. How do you know now? Again, you may ask me. It's not mentioned in the Upanishad, isn't it? How Angiras went to Satyavaha, we don't know. Did he just go and say, hey, give me this knowledge? How Satyavaha went to Angir, we don't know. But then, from Shankara Bhashya, we understand that just like Shaunaka and approached Angiras, Vidhivat, Angiras and all the previous, those 4 or 5 people in this lineage would have approached their gurus in a similar manner. I'm taking this Upanishad very slowly because it's very enjoyable. At the same time, we can go deeper as this is our second Upanishad. So, Vidhivat Upasanna, and then what did he do? Papracha. He asked. It is said that Brahma Vidya is a knowledge which should not be given unless it is asked for. Who asks for this knowledge? Those who are prepared for it. Who asks for this knowledge? Those who are mumukshus and those who want to get freedom from this samsara. If somebody says, I'm very happy the way I am, I don't find myself in any bondage, I'm very happy with my family, with my job, with the money I'm getting, with this thing. Why should I go to, go to religion? Somebody asked me that. Same question. Said, Tathastu, Ayushman Bhava. May you be like that. Doesn't matter. If you feel you don't need this, then you should not come. Only a person who has a need for this Vidya will benefit from this Vidya. A person who doesn't feel the need for this Vidya will not have Shraddha in this Vidya. Therefore, it is said that unless this all knowledge is asked for, it should not be given. Unless it is. Arjuna asked for this knowledge. How? He said, tell me what is the best for me. What is Shreya for me? Tell me. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm in a state of confusion. Karpanya dosha. I don't know what is the right thing for me. You please tell me what is the best for me. That's what he said. This one, Nachiketa, he asked for this knowledge. When Lord Yama tried to entice him and tried to discourage him from this knowledge, but Nachiketas, we saw, he kept on to this and said, I want it. Please give me that knowledge. I will never find a guru like you anymore. Please give me this knowledge. Therefore, unless this knowledge is asked for, no guru gives this knowledge. Therefore, he said, Vidivat upasannaha papracha. Papracha means in the proper way, he asked for this knowledge. And what was the way in which he asked? What was the question? What was the pariprashna? What was the appropriate prashna? He asked the last line. Kasminnu bhagavo vijñate sarvamidam vijñatam bhavati. Hey Bhagavan, Bhagavaha. He addresses the Guru, the teacher, as Bhagavaha. Kasminnu vijñate, Hey Bhagavaha. What is it by knowing which, that one thing, everything is known? I have done enough of yagas and yajnas. I have heard that there is something knowing which it is as though everything is known. Therefore, Hey Bhagavan, Hey Guru, Kasminnu Vijñate. What is it that by knowing that one thing, Sarvam Idam Vijñatam Bhavati, everything that is here is known. What is that one thing by knowing which everything that is here is known? Hey Bhagavan, tell me. This is the pariprashna. And what is the answer that Angiras, the Guru, gives Shaunaka? And why this question? What is the meaning of this question? That we will see in the next session. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukham Apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.